equations today, aka multivariable equations. Except I see two equations right here. Multivariable meaning many, two or more. Do we see two or more variables here? Nope. Do we see two or more variables here? Yup. Don't get scared, don't worry. It falls under the same process as you've been doing the whole time with these equations right here. What we want to think, again, is undo the operation. So we think PEMDAS, but we're going to work backwards because we're going to undo the equation. Well, if I said to here, right here, almost inherently say, oh, I'd add 4 to both sides. But why again? Subtraction comes first when undoing. So I would add 4, the opposites cancel out, and I'm left with 2x equals 20. Well, guess what? Same thing over here. We have to look. Do we see subtraction? Yeah, negative b. What's the opposite of negative b? Positive b. I add b to both sides. I add b to both sides. Well, what's left on this side? Just to show you, they cancel out. What's left on this side, the left-hand side? ax. Now, literally read it. What's on the right-hand side? c plus b. I'm just going to write it. c plus b. You know, over here, inherently, you're almost like, okay, I divide by 2. But why? Do we see any addition? No. Division? No. Multiplication? Yes. Next to is multiplication, right? So what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. Divide by 2 on both sides. Divide by 2. I'm left with x equals 10. Well, the same thing over here. Is there any addition with the x? Nope. Division? Nope. Ax. Together, again, multiplication. So what's the opposite? If we want x alone, what's the opposite of multiplying by a? Dividing by a. And what I do to one side, I do to the other. A divided by a gives us 1. We're just left with x. And literally, just write, what do you see over here? Literally, again, I can't emphasize this enough. Just what do you see? C plus b divided by a. Now, if I knew the value of c, b, and a, guess what? I would be able to get x. So don't let the literal equations intimidate you right here. It falls under the same category as your regular equations with one variable. It just has multivariables. In this example right here, we have the formula for the area of a triangle. A equals 1/2 base times height. It's already in terms of A, the area. This says we want to solve it in terms for b right here. So what we're going to do is the same thing as undo the operations right here. But one little thing right here. I have a half. I hate fractions. You gotta get rid of them? Multiply by the reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of 1 over 2? 2 over 1. Otherwise known as just 2. So I'm going to multiply that. Multiply that by both sides. And I'm left with, well, 2 times a half is just 1. Which means it's 1 times bh, which is just bh. And I'm left with over here 2a. Now let's just go to our undo the operations. Or once you get better with it, it's like, okay, well, if I have bh, what is that? That's multiplication, right? Well, what's the opposite of multiplication? That's right, you said it, division right there. So, what's with the b we don't want? The h, so we divide by h. We divide by h. And I'm left with, well, h divided by h is 1. So I'm left with b over 2a over h. So if I was given the area of a triangle and the height, guess what? I now know the base right there. Alright, in this example, we got solve for w. P equals 2w plus 2l. Let's just do the inverse operations again. Do you see any subtraction over here? I'm trying to solve for w. Nope. Do you see any addition? Ah, yes I do. I'm going to put my equal sign right here. And it says plus 2l. Well, what's the opposite of 2l? Negative 2l. What I do to one side, I do to the other. 2l minus 2l, they drop out because anything minus itself is 0 again. I'm left with 2w on this side. And look, literally, right, what do you see? I see a p minus 2l. Okay, it's written vertically. I'm going to write it horizontally just to keep it clean. Okay, now my w's almost by itself. Well, what's with it right now? A 2. Well, what's the opposite operation of 2w? That's multiplication, so we're going to divide by 2. So now I'm left with, well, what's 2 divided by 2? 1. I'm left with W. It's equal to P minus 2L over 2. Now you could write this up by splitting up, by going P over 2 minus 2L over 2. I might as well show it right here. Or P over 2 minus 2L over 2 equals W. But then what do you notice? 2 divided by 2 is they cancel out. So you're left with P over 2 minus L equals W. Both answers are acceptable, but it's good to know both ways right here. So that was literal equations solving for a specific variable.